Hey guys, welcome back to my Unfazed But Dazed YouTube channel. This channel is going to have chats between myself and people who have also experienced trauma. So having a solid support network is essential after trauma because those who have a solid foundation of people that they can lean on, they tend to recover much more quickly than those who are isolated or who choose to isolate themselves. And because of that, as my first guest, I have my sister, Anya Komi.
Hi guys, how are you today? So, a fun fact about Amma and I is that in 2017, our family and I started a women's wear brand in Lagos, Nigeria, and today we're wearing some of our shirts.
So, the brand is named House of Irawo, and Irawo is Yoruba, but translated into English, it means stars. So, everyone that wears House of Irawo clothing shines like stars. Okay, but yeah, so Anya is my younger sister, and I just thought it'd be very good to have someone that's part of my support network here so we can chat and she can let me know and let all the viewers, I guess, know about how she felt when everything happened to me through the hit and run car accident. So yeah, Anya, thank you for being here today. I know you have a dinner coming up soon, so really I appreciate it.
Of course.
Where were you actually when you first heard about the hit and run car accident that I was in?
So I went to boarding school when I was 14 and I heard about the accident when I was in my senior year and I was around 17 years old, and I was in St. Johnsbury, Vermont, and I just remember that my older sister Dola actually called me and was like, Amma has been in an accident, and I was just like, okay, so it's just like a sprained ankle, like I just did not even think it would be something of this capacity. And she was just like, no, Anya, like it's very serious. And she was just like, don't say anything, mom and dad are gonna call you and then they're gonna tell you everything. And I was just so confused with what was going on. I was still just like in a state of just shock and disbelief. So then my dad called me right after, and then that's when it hit me that it was extremely serious because I saw how my mom's reaction was, and that's when I was like, okay, this is extremely serious. And I just got into like a state of like numbness and shock. And then from there, I just remember, obviously from there, I think my parents had like got in contact with my boarding school. So then they came to me, one of my proctors, and they came and they were like, oh, they're like, just like, how are you feeling? I heard about everything. Then one of my proctors came in, I obviously just like started crying. And then from there, like I wanted to like, like get attention, like I wanted to like get comfort from some of my close friends. So I started calling my close friends, like one of my close friends at the time, and talking to them and just like trying to like figure out how I was reacting at that situation.
Yeah, wow, that's intense. And that's actually my first time actually hearing that story. I don't think we talked about that before. Oh wow, it's crazy. I mean, how did that feel for you just to be sprung with that very surprising thing?
Honestly, I just felt like I was like, this is not my life. Like I was like, this is obviously not reality. I was in such a deep state of shock, and I actually even remember when I was on the phone with one of my close friends at the time. Yeah. And she was with her sisters, and she didn't know that she had hung up the phone after calling me, and she was like, oh, she's like, how is she not crying right now? And then I heard her, and I was just like, people don't understand like how it is to be in that situation. Like obviously I was like in disbelief and like I was in shock, so I was just like processing all of the emotions.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of times in different situations, people on the outside will have their own opinion on how they think people will react. But I kind of feel like it's the type of thing that you'll never truly know how you'll react until, I don't know, maybe if you actually end up being in the situation.
Exactly.
Oh, that's wild. And yeah, because between then and when we saw, because she came to visit me in London.
It was like my Thanksgiving break.
Yeah, it was Thanksgiving break. So that was November. So 3 or 4 months after the accident. But yeah, so how was seeing me for the first time?
So yeah, I just remember seeing my sister, and I was just like, I was very happy to see her, after just the traumatic months that we had been through as a family. So that was really nice as well. But at the same time, it was just like I was finally like in tune with reality and just like processing the accident more and more. And I just remember your aide was there, because you had a helper at the time that would help her with certain activities that she couldn't do at the time.
Yeah.
And then my mom would help her with that as well. So
it was just, yeah, definitely very different from the time when she saw me before. Okay, let's actually think about it. When was the last?
We saw each other in like the summer before we were in Boston.
Boston, oh yeah. So towards the end of summer, my family loves Boston. they love Boston. Okay, so yeah, side note, but she went to school in Boston for a bit. But yeah, so her and my other sister Doa have both lived in Boston. But yeah, so we had just, I guess, a family vacation to Boston. Everything, yes, was fine. We're just bonding, and definitely no one thought what was gonna happen. What, like 2 weeks after that vacation?
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm sure, just thinking like of how I looked when you saw me that time versus how I looked when you saw me in London, like for the first time after the accident, must have been very, kind of just very shocking. Because even though, we had FaceTime and everything, my mom and dad had definitely told my siblings, just like how I looked, how I was and everything, but I feel like when you're, physically separated from the environment and just like
don't feel it as much.
Exactly, yeah, because it's more like obviously it's a very big thing, and everything, but when you're actually seeing it like face to face, that's very like big, because when I was discharged from the hospital, I was a lot skinnier than I am now because surgeries, whatever, that stuff. But I also had scars that you can't see now because some have faded away, but also foundation, really, and that's it. But yeah, on my forehead had some big scars, and I just looked very different. So I'm sure that was, because I know even me, I was very excited to see my siblings when they were coming to London, I also was thinking, like, I look so different now, and I was nervous about that, which is interesting because it's my family. It shouldn't really be something, I don't know, to be thinking of. Yeah, but I was just like, when they look at me, all they're gonna like immediately notice are all these changes that I have and all these changes that I'm so, self-conscious about. So I was nervous about that, but definitely having them visit that November was very nice, because before that point, it had just pretty much been my mom and my dad, because my mom was with me most of the time in London, and then my dad would come and visit. But having my siblings visit as well, that was very nice, because like I said, my family, they are my biggest support network and like the strongest one. Very, very grateful for them.
Definitely.
But so that was London. But then after I left London in January of 2016, I went back to school, which was in New York. And Anya at the time, where were you actually?
I was still in boarding school in Vermont, and so I would so when you came back, I would like come for breaks and stuff when she was currently living with my mom.
So she was still in boarding school. She didn't see me that often, but when we did see, were there changes that you still could notice in me, even if it wasn't the physical, I guess, changes, just more of emotional, personality changes?
So definitely I started to notice like a slight few changes just in like behavioral things. But obviously nothing that like a lot of people could pick up on, but obviously I'm her sister, so I would tell, I just noticed like a lot of more agitation and like irritation to certain things, and obviously Amma was dealing with so much, and she was still going to school, still trying to graduate at the same time. So she was balancing a lot in her life at the time and still dealing with her traumatic accident. So obviously, like, when things when she would get irritated about certain things, or you know, when things like we would just have like certain clashes, I just would always have to remind myself that she's going through so much right now, and she's so strong, and you know, like as your family member, I'm just gonna like always gonna support her and love her. But obviously, like if something happens, you know, you always have to still like be there for your sisters and everything. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, so like it was just like more of like behavioral things.
Yeah, so like did you, as she said, you just learned to adjust to these new behavioral things that I was doing? Yeah, because I'm sure, you know, if you didn't, and maybe I'm sure there might have been times that we did get into arguments, maybe like at the beginning.
Exactly.
When still, I guess, you could have been reacting in the way that you would have reacted if I did some, I don't know, annoying shit before.
Like typical sister fights.
Exactly, yeah. You know, every family, every sisters, like all the siblings, you know, we fight. It happens.
It happens.
Like, we are. Exactly. Yeah, so she was probably just like reacting, like in those, how you would have reacted then. But then I think it's good that for you kind of put the mindset of, okay, you know, yes, this is still Alma, but there are some things that, you know, might annoy her more than they would have before.
Exactly.
Or more than, you know, it annoys, you know, a lot of other people. Just because one thing about brain injuries is that, okay, I don't know the actual medical explanation for this, like, sorry, but I just know that anger is affected in some way because whatever part of your brain that controls your emotions can get injured. So after brain injuries, people tend to be very angry and very aggressive, and like that even happened in the hospital with me because my mom was with me every day, and I was so rude to my mom. And you know, see, so we're Nigerian, and let's just say being rude to your mom is not that's not
even a thing.
Like I yelled at my mom. Like
rare. Very rare.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen for you to be able to tell the story.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, so there are all these changes because I mean I am the most polite person, as I can say. But at least as a kid, you know, I didn't really get in trouble or anything. I was pretty, like, I didn't really fight with my parents. So
she was always known as the good child.
Yes, exactly. And I'm still known as that. So it was very, you know, different for, you know, my family members to see me being so rude, and not just to my mom, but just rude to all of them. Honestly. But it's definitely good that you guys were able to just be understanding. Because
definitely.
I think that's something that's important for people, anyone that has experienced trauma. I think that's something that's very important is for people that know them or talk to them to still just be, you know, like mindful of the fact that they did experience the trauma. So instead of having fights over, you know, some stupid stuff, just have to be like, you know, what she said was annoying, but also it's not entirely, you know.
Exactly, like you just have to know, like it's not exactly her fault, and you just have to know like when to let things go, honestly. Just
like pick and choose.
You just have to be like, exactly, with any relationship, honestly, you just have to pick and choose your battles. And obviously with someone with a TBI, like things that you might say could come across to them as like in a negative way, but like it's just honestly miscommunication at times. And like you just have to learn how to practice with it. And I think after like we've just been experiencing this for like how many years now, since 2015?
Almost 4 years.
So you know, obviously now we've like learned a lot, we've come a very long way, but in the beginning stages it was very hard to adapt to this and like adapt to certain personality changes. But honestly, like through my parents, through our tight family, through God, everything, like, you know, we're very prayerful, we're very spiritual. So we always like knew that we would just like come across any obstacles and we'd be able to face that, you know?
That's good, because really my family is, I would say, extremely resilient, and just every member of my family being so resilient and strong was very helpful to me too, because, you know, if like, even when I was in the hospital and just going through all the surgeries and everything, still just having people around me that, you know, their drive, they just kept on moving forward with every single thing, helped influence me to say, okay, you know, Alma, you can do this, you know, you can move forward and everything. How do you think that our family has Like, how did we become resilient, or how have we stayed resilient?
Honestly, I would say like definitely through our parents. They're great parents. Like I thank God for them every day. They've always shown us great role models. They've always shown us like hard work, and they're entrepreneurs. So we've learned that for them like since our whole lives basically. And then, as I've said, like we've been Christians our whole life. We've always believed in like the power of God and the power of the tongue. So we're very like we like to speak things into existence and just like
we claim it.
Yeah, exactly. We claim it. We literally don't let any obstacles get in our way. And I feel like that's what's important about people who are listening to this. That family members with family members who have someone who has a TBI, or just anyone that has a TBI or a trauma,
any type of
trauma. You know, it's really just about your bond. Like I really feel like a lot of things that can help you get through it is your bond with your close-knit people.
And because if you know the close friends, family, or whoever of people that have experienced trauma, if they are strong, they can help the person be strong too. Because
my mom would always tell me. Yeah, I remember that.
Says that, you know, because it's not easy, and that's the thing. Because yes, I was the one physically that was involved in the accident. But still, you know, my family members and other people were affected by that too. But the best and I think most important thing you can do is, as hard as it is for you, just try, at least when you're talking to them or anything, just like be as strong as you can, because that really helps the person like push to be
motivate
strong
themselves.
too.
It builds up their confidence. Everything, honestly. Like, my mom would always tell me that. I remember just when I was like in the beginning, even when I just FaceTime Amash, my mom would talk to me on the phone.
Oh, like after?
No, before. Always before.
I didn't know that.
She was like, Aniram, be strong. She would always tell me that, like, be strong.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So she would always tell me that, and like at the time, at the time I was like applying for like colleges and like my senior year struggles and everything. So I was just like, wow, like so much is going on at this time, and
it's
like,
not easy.
It was just a lot to deal with. But honestly, I always was just like, I have to remain strong. You know, I still have to I still have to like try and like, you know, apply to colleges and everything. And, so
you did.
And I did.
So push forward.
Exactly.
And so definitely, you know, seeing just you and everyone else that I was close with just still going for it, really, it helped motivate me to do the same. Even though I felt that my mental state was completely fine and completely chill with going to London, because honestly, my parents, my whole family was being very like worried about me having to go to London, and I was pretty much like, guys, relax, you know, like, yes, something very bad happened there to me, you know, but I was like, you know, that was years ago, like, it's okay, I'm fine. But in the months and weeks leading up to it, I started having, you know, nightmares, even more, you know, anxiety and everything, and that was part of, I guess, my subconscious reacting to going back to London after so long. And there were times that Anya would spend the night, and then I'd wake up the next morning and she would tell me that, you know, like, I had some type of like nightmare or something, because like, you know, you'd say that, like, what happened?
So basically, just like the months leading up to London, so I often always like sleep over at Alma's apartment, and one time I was just staying up later and Amma was sleeping, so I just noticed that she had a lot of nightmares, and like it was just very intense. Like, so I spoke to her about it in the morning, and I was just like, Amma, like, do you remember what happened last night? It seemed like you had a very extreme nightmare. And she wouldn't remember what happened. So then that's when we started putting two together, and we're like, definitely this is like post-traumatic stress symptoms coming up, and like obviously it was just making sense. And it was just definitely like your subconscious showing you like, as well.
I guess kind of like freaking out about going back to London again soon. So that was something. How did that feel? You know, just I guess being, you know, my partner, just hearing me having those nightmares.
Definitely was very scary, and I was honestly I was just very nervous. I was just like, this is scary. And at the time, Amma was actually gonna go to London by herself. So
see, at first I really was like, guys, it's okay. I can go solo. Like, I am a grown, like almost adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the time, she was gonna go by herself.
Yeah.
But we realized that obviously, like that after I started seeing Ama's her nightmares, and I was like, I spoke to my other sister about it, and we're just like, no, like I actually like I have to come with Ama as well, and it was just it made sense for me to come. I was the one in the family that had the most free schedule at the time.
And she was still in school.
Yeah, it was like during summer.
Yeah.
So I just had time, and I was like, obviously, I'll definitely always come support Ama in any way. So yeah, just it was definitely very terrifying though. Seeing those night terrors. Yeah.
Yeah, and because for me, honestly, she's told me the story. I don't remember any of those nightmares at all. The one thing that I do know and I do remember is that the way that Anuria told me about it, and I think the way she reacted was very good, because you know, some like your reaction, I don't know, some people's reaction could have been like, okay, wow, she's having a nightmare, let me wake her up, let me like get her out of this nightmare, and let me like you know, tell her about like what happened and how she was shouting or whatever. But I feel like you not doing that helped me not freak out, I guess, about whatever I had dreamt about. Because if you woke me up and you're like, oh my god, Ama, like you're screaming and then like that could have made me feel like very scared and like very panicked. And it's like if I already had a nightmare where I was obviously nervous, those two things just, I would have needed to be even more scared. So I think, you know, reacting in the, I guess, calm way and just telling me like, you know, when I had woken up and, you know, clear-headed and everything, I think that was really good, really. And this goes back to what I was saying about, you know, being strong for the person that experienced the trauma, because you know, no one wants to hear their sister having like nightmares and everything, but like you stayed strong. You said, okay, I'll talk to her about it, you know, tomorrow morning.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and that's good. I think that's really good. So just remember, you guys can be the wall. How do you think that other families and just, you know, other people can learn to be resilient?
Just by like having such motivation, like never giving up. Honestly, you have to be determined. A lot of people told us that Ama would not be able to make it. They told us so many different things.
No, they said
everything.
I couldn't talk again,
wouldn't be able to finish school, everything,
like do anything again.
And Ama has 2 degrees, so you know it just so that just shows you, honestly. And we just never gave up. And we as so like our parents, our mom, our dad, my mom is a serious prayer warrior. Even if you are not necessarily invested in religion, you can just find something to have faith in. Like just the faith in your family, the faith in your bond, your connection. Just know that like there is something there at the end of the day, and you're looking forward to something every day.
Exactly,
just motivate yourself in any type of way.
I really think that hope plays such a big role in healing after trauma, because when you have hope, you said you have something, you know, to look forward to. You have something that you're like, okay, you know, things might seem, you know, they might seem dark now, you know, but I'm gonna get this thing, and that's gonna make the lights go up a little bit more.
Exactly.
Or a lot more. Yeah, definitely having hope, it's good, because I mean, if you don't have hope, like where's the motivation?
Yeah.
You know?
Where's the motivation?
Yeah, but like when you have hope, when you have the thing it is that you just really want to happen, and you know, to my family, they just really wanted me to still be me, and they helped me continue to be me by, you know, acting. Yeah, they, I guess, would change the way that they would react when I could be like really rude, but still when we would be talking and, you know, sharing, you know, Instagram photos and like Twitter stuff, like still everyone, like they treated me just how they had before. So our relationship was able to still stay the same, and it was even made stronger just by me knowing that, you know, there were people that I could rest on, and people that I knew were always there for me and could still, you know, call me out if need be, but like that could stay strong for me and could help me stay strong. So really, I appreciate it, and I continue to.
Yes.
I am forever grateful for my support network, because I don't think that anyone that has gone through any type of trauma, whether it's physical or it's emotional, I don't think that they can get through it alone. So if that's because, you know, they are isolated, or they have chosen, you know, to isolate themselves, I just think, you know, find the people that can be your rocks, and you know,
hold on to that.
Hold on to them.
those
Yeah.
people.
Lean on them, yeah. So really, thank you so much, Anira, for being
Of
my
course.
first guest. You know, love you always.
Love you
yeah.
too.